This is a CAMMUS C5 and this is a CAMMUS C5, and in all intents and purposes they are identical except for one feature. Now this is the CAMMUS C5 ePedal edition. Now if you just basically take a quick look around them from this distance, you can see they have the same wheel diameter, they have the same material around the wheel rim, same face, same buttons, and at the rear we have the same I/O. There's absolutely no difference. Performance on track with both these wheelbases is identical. However, the CAMMUS C5 ePedal edition, this one here, has one unique feature this doesn't. Now to show you this, you need to get closer. So come closer, guys. You can see here, which looks a little bit like an outline of a fingerprint. There's one on this side, on the left, and there's one on the right here as well. Now take note of the position of these. They are slightly different locations. And these are the ePedals. And we're going to be using these instead of pedals for our pedal inputs. So this is the brake and this is the throttle pedal. Underneath are sensors that react to how much force I'm pressing into them. So think of them like load cells. The more thumb pressure I'm pushing into it will then be related into the analog input into the pedal. To demonstrate this, we're going to get on track, but first I'm going to show you the software so you can see the configuration and how they're set up. In the CAMMUS software, we get our first look working with these ePedal pressure pads, and you can see they are displayed in the software as brake and throttle. As I apply force, the gauges are registering the analog input. The maximum load is surprisingly high. I don't have a method to accurately weigh this, but I estimate they can take up to 5 kilograms. You'll want to adjust the range to something that's comfortable, so you can set the minimum and maximum values by holding the desired force onto the pad and clicking the min or max to lock in the setting. So you press lightly to set the minimum registered input and then click min, and then press more firmly for setting the maximum threshold and click max. The output curve is fully adjustable. A lot of pedal sets allow you to make this kind of change to the pedal output, so you may be already familiar with this feature. Linear is the default, whereby the output is a straight line relative to the input weight. Changing that line to a curve will alter the output based on the curve shape. You can also drag points on the graph to manually tune the curve. For my testing and evaluation today, I'm only covering the ePedal function, as I already have run out a full detailed review for the CAMMUS C5. So if you want to find out more information on this wheelbase, covering its performance and other features, simply combine this video with my original CAMMUS C5 review and you'll get the full picture of this product. But to summarise, my opinion on the CAMMUS C5 is I do like it. It produces good force feedback detail, it's decently powerful, and the build quality is very good. So back to the ePedals. This footage here was recorded soon after I had this all set up. I figured I'd start with something easygoing to get acclimatised to running these thumb pedals. This is Wreckfest and a simple oval course. And I was really shocked how easy I found this only after 5 minutes of practice. This was unexpected. I thought it would start out awkward and require some time to get used to this method of steering and operating the pedals. But bizarrely, I found this quite comfortable and intuitive. So very quickly, I decided to ramp up the difficulty with a more challenging track. And again, I was killing it, managing my braking and throttle inputs that, from my perspective, seemed precise and consistent. Since the progressive level of throttle or braking application is measured by the force I'm pressing into the ePedal pads, I'm feeling this tension through my thumbs and operating the pedals based on this sensation, and it's proving to be accurate and intuitive. It's almost strange how easy and normal this seems to me. The two pads being located in different positions is a design feature I imagine was carefully considered by CAMMUS, clenching down on the brake on the left hand side and pushing forward with the right thumb for the accelerator. It just makes complete sense when you're handling the wheel. This is Grid Legends, another casual racing game. We will get into a proper sim racing title soon, but I'm showing you my journey as I worked towards that end. And after Wreckfest, Grid Legends was my game of choice. I'm not using the paddle shifters, I have gears set to auto. As you can witness here, I'm running pretty well, and without any practice, I loaded up the track and pressed record on the camera. I have the steering angle set to 540 degrees. This is important. If I raise it any more, then there is a bit of an issue, as this does increase the chance of having to change my hand position to rotate the wheel, and therefore not having my thumbs above the ePedals. In other words, no brakes or throttle while turning. So that's my recommendation, 540 degrees or lower. This is Automobilista 2, and I'm now using the paddle shifters for all the gear shifts. My hands are pretty busy operating all the functions of the car. The Minis are an easy drive, not very fast and very stable, but AMS2 is a sim title, and I'm driving this car pretty damn well. Would I be quicker on track with a real pedal set? Now the answer is yes, but I am surprised I'm still quite competitive against the AI here, set at the same level I would race with pedals. The pedals are providing me with accurate pedal control in a sim racing game. This is impressive. But next up, I'm going to put them through a more extreme challenge. Avoiding throttle oversteer and brake lockups in the Super V8 stock cars is balanced on a knife edge. They are feisty beasts. The ePedals have finally met their match. You need extreme precise pedal control to keep these cars stable, and I failed quite miserably. Just completing a single lap was incredibly difficult. Even with a good set of pedals, these cars are not easy to drive, and for the ePedals, impossible for me to complete a full race without disaster. I think that's pretty much guaranteed. Even a couple of clean laps would be a major success. To make life easier, I could activate some in-game artificial driver aids, and that would make for a much more drivable experience. But my mission here today was to see how far we could go with the ePedals as a straight replacement for pedals. Heading over to ACC, GT cars have traction control and ABS, and that makes things a bit easier for the CAMMUS ePedals and helps mop up some mistakes. I wouldn't say I was having like an extra easy time here. GT cars are fast and powerful, so you do need accurate pedal control. I managed okay. I felt a bit edgy at times and not as competitive compared to real pedals. That said, I'm probably being a bit harsh on myself. As with all the other game footage you've seen, I've had next to no practice here. I booted up the game, got the settings dialed in, and pretty much started recording. The reason for such a rush is simply I'm on a limited timescale to get this video completed, to have it ready for the official product launch date. And considering these factors, I would say the ePedals have proved to be rather impressive. I was able to reach a level of competence quickly. With more practice, I'm certain I'd improve. When this first arrived, I admit I had low expectations. Make no mistake, I really like the CAMMUS C5, the other aspects and performance of this wheelbase. But the ePedals, I already made a prejudgment before using them, and I was very wrong to do so. This has impressed me, particularly with casual racing games. They are fantastic. I had a great time. I'd be completely happy to use the ePedals over normal pedals for these types of games. For sim titles, it is a steeper learning curve, and it's going to vary depending on the car. With practice maybe, it's possible to get a reasonable level of control, but real pedals will always be the better option as far as I'm concerned for any sim racing game. The CAMMUS C5 ePedal direct drive wheelbase. Who is this actually made for? Maybe someone with a leg disability where pedals are not possible, but indeed anybody else might consider this as an option where setting up pedals under their feet is not practical, and a compact wheelbase you can easily slap on a desk or table could be the perfect solution for that situation. And later on down the line, you could indeed add a regular pedal set into the mix. There's nothing stopping you doing that. People play racing games with gamepads and the triggers operate the pedals, so in that context, pedal control incorporated into the steering wheel isn't far removed from that. If you watched this far into the video, you still may be skeptical. I would understand that. The idea of operating pedals with your thumbs doesn't sound optimal to me either, but the proof is in the pudding. You've seen me using the CAMMUS C5 and the ePedals, and I don't think you can argue I've been doing quite well here. I'm giving the CAMMUS C5 ePedals a thumbs up, maybe even two. An unlikely idea that actually works rather well. The placement of the sensors and their sensitivity is what makes it all happen, and CAMMUS has pulled this off successfully. And a job well done. Thanks for watching. Hit the like if you enjoyed the video, that would be appreciated. And until next time, happy simming and bye bye.